Hello, and welcome. We are so glad that you are with us today. My name is Jessica Pierce, and I'm the CEO and founder of Career Connectors. And we are excited to be kicking off another year of being able to provide these resources to our community. So thank you for introducing yourself in the chat. If you haven't done that yet, please open the chat box, which if you're on a laptop is at the bottom of your screen. Click the chat icon and then introduce yourself. Let us know your name. Let us know where you're joining us from and then what kind of work you're looking for today. Would also love to know something different today. Would love to know if you are actively job searching, maybe you were laid off, or you are looking for a different career. Or maybe if you're just kind of, I saw somebody say, I'm just kind of looking to see what's available and what's out there, looking to develop a little bit. So tell us a little bit about what you're looking for and why you're here today. So thanks again for being here. And we are so excited about kicking off another year. A little bit about Career Connectors. And so we started way back in the Great Recession in 2008 and 9. And so we've been around for going on, I guess, 14 years, 15 years. Wow, this might be our actually 15th anniversary this coming year. Wow, we're gonna have to have a party or something, do something fun. But so we are all about building a stronger community, and we do it through careers. And so we provide resources to job seekers, to employers, and then connections with service providers. And so that is what we're here to do today. And today is one of our monthly content and coaching events, which means you're going to get a lot of great information from some phenomenal keynote speakers that will help you move forward in your career. And so I want to go through a couple technical things with you first, and then we'll get moving forward. So again, if you're looking to chat, please don't unmute yourself. Everyone comes into the call muted. Do not unmute yourself during this first portion of the event. Anything you want to ask, you can drop it in the chat. In the chat, we have moderators, we have our staff, we have volunteers that are moderating, and we'll be able to answer your questions. And then the speakers will typically answer your questions after they're done talking. Also, you'll be able to talk to coaches at the end of the event in breakout rooms, so smaller groups where you can go in and act and talk to them directly. And so that at that time, that would be an appropriate time to unmute yourself. But during the big event, please make sure that you stay muted. A couple of things on the display. You can control the way that this event is laid out for you. And so typically most people like to see the PowerPoint that's up and then also who is speaking. And to get that view, up on the right-hand corner, right top corner of your screen for anyone who's on a computer, you can click the View button, and then there's a couple options. The best view typically is the side-by-side speaker view. That will give you the PowerPoint and then the person that is talking. And so you can choose Gallery, which you'll see everybody as well. But the side-by-side speaker view is a really good view to use for these events. All right. At the end of the call today, we are going to have breakout rooms. And so we're going to have LinkedIn coaches, career coaches, resume writers, speakers available to talk to you. And so I encourage you to stay. That happens about 10:30 Mountain Standard Time is when we when we go into the breakout rooms. We also have closed caption on and available. And so closed captioning is at the bottom of your screen. And you can, if you click show captions, it will do a live transcription for you. Now, we do not send the PowerPoint out, but we do record this entire event. So when you jumped on the call, you probably saw a notification that this event was being recorded. So it will be available in a webinar view after the event. And so our awesome event director, Bree, will be sending out an email to all of you after the event today with some links and some information. And one of the links will be the link to this direct webinar. So if you need to go back, you want to see something again, you missed something, you didn't take a note, you want to see one of the processes, that you can go back and view it on the webinar. Okay, you guys, I am always interested for the first event of the year. I love this question. I'm going to ask you to get into the chat and get ready to answer. A lot of people come up with a goal for the year, or they come up with a word or a phrase of the year. I've used words in the past like joy, gratitude, things like that, persistence, different things. And this year, my word is pray. I'm actually doing a study right now on praying and how to pray, every day for people, over people. And we really do a lot of prayer for career connectors and the people that we serve. But so that's my word of the year. But I would love to hear, do you have a word of the year? Do you have a phrase, a goal? What are you really going after this year? Protecting my peace. Oh, hallelujah. Yes, I hear that. That's so good. Hope, patience, thrive. Good one. Empower, unbullied. Interesting. Mindset and leap, grace, resilience. Wow, great words, you guys. Really good. That is so good. Impact, abundance. I love it. Prosperity. Yes. Thriving instead of surviving. Oh man, once you move into thriving, it's so different than just daily trying to survive. Connectedness. Colleen, love that word so much. Love that. Obviously, career connectors, love that word so much. Open doors. Good. Krista, sometimes I think open doors is about just going through them when you see them, or, talking to people, getting outside of the box. And so I'm so glad you all are here. These are great words. Thank you guys. Thanks for doing that. I really appreciate it. And I want to be sure that you all can connect with each other. So if you see somebody that's listed something that's similar to yours or that's interesting to you, feel free to reach out to them. You can message each other on the app or on the chat directly. Don't be shy. The other thing I'm going to ask you all to do, and so during this time of after Bridgett speaks or Justin, when you have a few minutes, I would encourage you to drop your LinkedIn URL into the chat. And so in the chat right now, I'm going to drop the instructions on how to get the blue clickable link. And that way you all can connect with each other. And I would love for you to connect with me as well. But basically you open up LinkedIn on a separate browser, and then you can click on your profile picture, click into your profile somehow, but I click onto my profile picture, and in the search bar is your LinkedIn URL. If you have a LinkedIn URL that has your name, that's really the best way, because it shows people that you know how to use LinkedIn, that you're tech savvy. So like Todd and Kitty and Bridget, you see their names as part of their LinkedIn URL. If that's not the case with you, there's a way to rename it. You don't have to worry about it today, but you can go in and see how to rename that LinkedIn URL so it does have your name in it. But go ahead and drop your LinkedIn URL, and we would connect with each other. And it's just another way to be able to get a referral of somebody who knows somebody. All right, you guys, enough of me, and I'm going to move on to our amazing keynote speaker. I love having Bridgett out at the beginning of the year. She has supported Career Connectors for many, many years. And she is a wonderful, wonderful person and keynote speaker. Have you ever experienced an energy that made you move to the edge of your seat, or that made you stand to your feet? What about an excitement that stayed with you and had you talking about it long after an event ended? That is the best way to describe Bridgett McGowen, an award-winning author, an award-winning publisher, and an award-winning international professional speaker who is known to be both comical and memorable. She will not only energize you, but she will inspire you to not let anyone or anything get in the way of you being the most unforgettable person in the room. Today, Bridgett is here to share with you, be it till you see it. Please help me welcome Bridgett McGowen.
Thank you so much, Jessica. I love every time your team reaches out to me and I'm like, yes, I can do it. Yes, there's no question. There's no doubt that I am going to be there. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us for the session. Let's get started with Be It Till You See It. You've heard it before, and you may have even said it yourself. You cannot be what you cannot see. However, what if we challenge that? What if we decide that that is all wrong? What if instead you decide that you are going to embrace every opportunity, no matter which direction it's coming from? What if you change your mind and you decide you're going to take the leap, take the risk, and even if it's scary, you are going to feel the fear and press the go button anyway? And what if right now, right here in the year 2024 is when you do it? You see, you have hit some bumps in the road, and that's okay. You have faced some challenges, but that's okay because you're tougher than the bumps and you're tougher than the challenges. You're just a smaller part of a bigger story. So, what if in this year of 2024, you cast aside doubt? You embrace your past, you learn from those lessons, and you decide that in 2024, you are going to be it till you see it. My name is Bridgett McGowen. And what I do is I empower professionals to be the most engaging, dynamic, incredible communicators and go-getters ever. If you have questions during the session, make sure you post them to the chat. I'll make sure you get answers during the session. A couple of years back, maybe back in 2022, I was conducting a podcast interview with a fellow professional speaker by the name of Rachel. Now, during the course of my podcast, I allow guests to ask me a question. I turn the tables and I become the interviewee. And this podcast interview with Rachel was no different. I asked her what was a question she had for me, and Rachel did not disappoint. She said, "Bridgett, what would you tell your 17-year-old self?" Well, for one, I would have told myself, "Girlfriend, you'll eventually find a professional photographer who knows how to use lighting so you don't look like a piece of charcoal in a picture. And second, your fashion sense will drastically improve." What I told Rachel, though, was something along the lines of, take what you're good at and what you excel in and make it work for you. Now, in podcast language, that sounded lovely. But let's be real. At the age of 17, did I really know how to take what I was good at and then monetize it and make it work for me? I'm pictured there alongside my classmate, Christina Dennis. She was a few years, or is a few years younger than me, and we made up the pros team at Livingston High School. Now, she and I also competed in the poetry category as well. There was a lot more of us. But she and I would create these dramatic interpretations of nonfiction pieces. And we traveled the state of Texas competing in university interscholastic league competitions. We did really well at it. At the time, I was very good at public speaking. I excelled in reading and writing and such. But I did not know at the time that there were careers that made sense for those areas where I excelled. It's a small town, Livingston, Texas. And when I would take my hot and on and popping trips to the Walmart Supercenter, I didn't necessarily see any kinds of careers that resonated with what I did really well. I mean, we're talking about a town where at the time the population was 5,019. This was the hot spot to be. And my son, who's 9 years old, saw this picture and asked me, "Mom, what is that?" You know, he's used to the fresh and renewed logo of Walmart, but I digress. It was a town filled with hardworking, blue-collar residents, my adoptive parents included. So with the people that I saw in our community, the careers and the positions that they held, they just did not resonate with me. But one thing that did resonate with me was the fact that I was a really good student. So the plan was essentially I was going to go to college. Some way, somehow, that's what I was going to do. But I invite you to think about that question Rachel posed to me. When you think of where you are right now, and you think about where you were at the age of 17, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, when you were 17, what did you need to hear? What did you need to tell yourself? In 3 to 5 words, post that to the chat. What did you need to hear when you were 17, when you were a junior or a senior in high school? What was it that would have been a message that would have resonated with you as you look back? Because you've achieved a lot since then. You've accomplished a lot since then. And there is a message that your younger self deserves to hear. And who knows, maybe yourself now needs to hear. You don't have to play small, persist. Things will get better. Take a job that interests you. Be anything you set your mind to. Yes, yes, all of that, all of that. Let me grab a few more. Grow every day. Yes. Roll with the punches. You're doing great. You will be great. You are great. Breathe. Yes. Yes. You will find your place. Be more confident in yourself. You don't have to play it safe with career choices. Persist. Your world will get better. You are worthy. You have value. And let me tell you, your 17-year-old self needed to hear it. And I want you to tell yourself the exact same thing now. It's okay to ask for help. You can get through anything and you can get through everything. You can and you will, no matter what you can become, that nurse that you wanted to be, that engineer you wanted to be, that communications professional that you want to be. Be positive, be productive. I need you to find a piece of paper right now, whether it's a Post-it note, whether it's a scrap of paper, whether it's the back of a receipt. And I need you to write that message right now and commit to sticking it in a place where you will see it every day. Because not only did your 17-year-old self need to hear that, but you need to hear it right now. And I know if I had to redo things, I would tell myself that I may not see what is possible right now, but all of that doesn't matter because I can be it until I see it. Now, you may say, Bridgett, that sounds lovely. Doesn't sound much better, I don't know, than what you told Rachel. That sounds lovely. I'm sitting here and I'm watching you and you're standing there and you look put together and you sound confident. Girlfriend, you've never been in my shoes. You don't know. You don't know what's going on here. Well, let me tell you something. The bottom half of this outfit is yoga pants that are pinching my spare tire. And all of this confidence that you hear coming out of my mouth. Well, don't let it fool you. Picture it. East Texas, Livingston High School, senior year. A time of terrible hairdos, some pretty good music. It was during this time when not only am I trying to figure out what I'm going to do with life, but I'm also working at the local McDonald's. And I am going to say that my claim to fame at the time was becoming the employee of the month, my first month working there. And I credit that in part to how I spent my breaks. We got a complimentary meal every day, and I would lock myself away in the employee break room, and I would spend the entire time watching one VHS tape after another. For any millennials or Gen Zers, I believe it is, this is what we had before Let me think. All this digital stuff. I don't know how we watch movies now. Before we were streaming stuff. There we go. Ask your parents or maybe your grandparents. Yes, I might just be that old. Ask them what's a VCR or a VHS tape. So I'm watching all of these tapes and I'm learning all things Ronald McDonald world. Now, I have no idea why I found them so entertaining. You see, we didn't have cell phones at the time, so this was my entertainment. Don't ask me anything from the videos, if I remember any content or anything like that. I don't know, but I watched them endlessly. And then I'd finish my little number one, and I'd clock back in, and I'd put into place everything I'd learned during my lunch break. Now, around this time, I'm also thinking about what I am going to do post high school graduation. I mean, I've got to figure out something. I've got to have some kind of a career. Got to do something here. So, like most of everybody else in the town, it's time to start applying for colleges. Now, I don't know if it was out of boldness or ignorance, but I applied to one school and one school only. Bridgett McGowen, applied to Howard University in Washington, D.C. Ooh, how exotic was it? You see, most of my classmates were applying to places like the University of Texas at Austin or Texas A&M University, or maybe even Sam Houston State University down the street in Huntsville. All very fine institutions. However, I didn't have any kind of connection to them like most of them had connections. I didn't have parents who attended any of those universities or any university for that matter. We'll talk more about that later. With the exception of a cousin who attended Sam Houston State. He graduated. However, his story ends tragically, and that is certainly for another keynote. But I was going to Howard University. I had a classmate who had graduated the year before. She was there. And I thought, if she can do it, I can do it too. If Eureka, who's also from Livingston, can make this happen, I will too. So my adoptive father purchases a Rand McNally Road Atlas. And yes, we got it from Walmart. And it was our GPS at the time. This huge book full of all the highways and byways and streets and roads all across America. And we were so excited. We were going to take that 2,000-mile drive from Livingston, Texas, southeast corner of the state. And we were going to drive up to our nation's capital and get this girl in school. And I would kind of get really, I don't know, enthusiastic and hopeful, just opening up the book and just flipping through and just looking at all the different routes. So that was the plan. Now, right around the same time as I'm working at McDonald's and I'm going to band practice, and as I, just for fun, post to the chat, what do you think I played in band? What instrument or instruments do you think I played in band, just for fun? So around this time, I'm still working at McDonald's. I'm going to band practice. I was in marching band, concert band, as well as jazz band. So, and I'm applying for college. Well, Howard. Around the same time, my adoptive father, who worked at a lumber company or sawmill company, came into quite a bit of money. Flute, Mrs. H, do I look like I would play? I'm sorry, I didn't give you any guidance. A flute just seems very dainty. I'm the last dainty person you're going to Fine. Violin, drum. Yeah, drums. Yeah, right. Yeah, saxophone. Yeah, trumpet. That's what we're talking. Clarinet. Right. No, I need something loud. A piccolo. I need something loud and ridiculous. I played trumpet and baritone. I played trumpet during the marching band season, and then I played baritone during the concert band season. A baritone rather is kind of like a small version of a tuba, kind of that's to give you a point of reference. And anyway, he's working at the sawmill. My adoptive father is working at the sawmill, and he came into a quote unquote bunch of money. It was a lot of money for us at that time. The company was going out of business. And as part of some kind of a stock option or some kind of a payout or something like that, he received, again, what we thought was a large sum of money at the time. And even when I pass by a new home construction site and I smell that smell, can you smell it, of cut wood? I'm taken back to that time. At any rate, he ends up with $6,000, about $6,000. So we've got these 6 bundles of $1,000 each. And again, that was a lot of money for us at that time because, like I said, this is a town of blue collar workers. And it probably would have taken him, I don't know, 3 or 4 months easily to make that kind of money. So he has a high school diploma. My adoptive mother, though, dropped out of school at about the age of 8 or so. So she's working with a 2nd or 3rd grade education. Her parents did not require that she go to school. This is a different time, a different place, a different mentality. We won't get into her rationale for why she didn't go, but she didn't. And I learned to read before she did. Took on a lot of responsibilities at a very young age. They adopted me shortly after I turned 2 years old. And I can remember balancing the checkbook for them. And I'm telling you, money didn't go in banks, but she finally said, you know, I'm going to open a checking account. And I remember how she would think the bank was surreptitiously taking her money. And so I'm balancing the checkbook. And even when the ending balance on the statement would match the number that I had in the checkbook down to the penny, she was still trusting. So, as you can guess, that $6,000 was not going in the bank, my friends. It didn't go under the mattress. Instead, it went into a safe and secure red and white igloo cooler. And it went into the safe and secure location of their master bedroom closet, where it was safe and secure from everyone. Or so we thought. Now, I know what's going through your mind. That's not what happened. I'll tell you, it didn't get stolen. We'll get there. Now, as the senior year is moving along, all of us seniors are getting ready to share with everyone exactly what our plans are post-graduation. And the Polk County Enterprise, our local newspaper, or so like we like to call it, the Polk County Surprise, had a column for the seniors. Now, in that column, it listed everything that we were doing. Were you going to work at your dad's mechanic shop after graduation? They were going to put that in there. Were you going off to college somewhere? They were going to put that in there. Now, I don't have that clipping from what I indicated I was going to do, which was go to Howard University, but I do have this clipping that I thought you might enjoy. 1st grade, 1st place, spelling bee, Livingston Elementary. There I am, along with the 2nd place winner, Henry Wallace, and 3rd place winner, Rhonda Reinhardt, whom I have to thank for getting this clipping to me. Enjoy. So we share with the newspaper what we're doing after graduation. And my friends, I'm not just attending college. I am not just attending a university. I am going out of state. How exotic is that? And not just out of state. I am going to our nation's capital to attend Howard University. I am going somewhere. I am going to be somebody. But there was a detour. But you're no stranger to detours. You know how it goes. You may see them as hindrances. You may see them as inconveniences. You may see them as really being annoying. And right now you're on a detour. You see, you feel like you want to take 3 steps forward, but the real plan is for you to take 2 steps to the left. You may feel like you want to go to the right, but you really need to do a 360 and go elsewhere. I have to tell you, like our late pastor Alexis Thomas used to say, he says, sometimes a rejection is a redirection. Let me tell you, when one door closes, 5,000 of them will open for you. It's okay that we're on a detour, because sometimes that new path is a lot better than the one that we were on. I know it feels like you are all alone right now. I know it feels like it doesn't make sense and you don't like the feeling you're in right now. But let me give you a little bit of hope. Check this out. According to the Pew Research Center, 60% of people who changed jobs, voluntarily or involuntarily, pick up on that. 60% of them saw an increase in their earnings over the same month from the previous year. What's my point? It's greater later. And that's the actual factual. You don't have to fake it till you make it. You're going to be it till you see it. You've got this. Trust me, you do. So I'm trying to get myself off to college. I've graduated. It's summertime, around July or so, and my adoptive father goes to check the cooler. And when he opens it, it is abundantly clear that the $6,000 that were in there has dwindled. Now, we had been pinching off money here and there, so we knew the full 6,000 wasn't there. But let me tell you, it wasn't 5,000, it wasn't 3,000, it wasn't 2,000, maybe 1,000 was left. Now, all 6 bundles were there, but it was just a few dollars in each one of them. So, where did the money go? Who took it? I'll tell you, my adoptive mother. Wait a minute, what's going on? You see, we did not have, forget about 2 nickels, we didn't have 2 pennies to rub together. Small town, not a lot of opportunities, blue collar, you're working hard and you're doing the best you can. I remember at one point, my adoptive mother was working not 1 full-time job, but 2. She worked as a nurse aide at a nursing home in Livingston. And I remember she would work a shift from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., then drive 30 miles to Woodville and work another shift at another nursing home from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m., then drive back home, get about 5.5 hours of sleep, wake up, and do it all over again. What bills did you have? Well, my adoptive father's father moved in with us, and at that point, he had been living with us for about 6 years. He was born in 1911, was very ill. His medical expenses, through the roof. The $627 he got every third of the month for Social Security didn't even cover his expenses, didn't even break even. So she's working, trying to keep the household afloat. You know how we do it as moms, as wives. and we're trying to take care of him, and it is what it is. I'm quite sure she was overextending herself, purchased some furniture that we needed, but probably couldn't afford. And I cannot believe I found a picture of the exact furniture we had. Probably bought a car that, again, we needed, but it was for a model that was more than we could handle. Or maybe she would buy a little bit better cut of meat so we could have a nicer dinner for a change. Whatever the case may have been, we are all going through all kinds of emotions right now. My adoptive father is in a state of shock. This is his life partner. At that point, they had been married for 24 years. How could she not tell him what she's doing? I mean, if we're spending the money on bills, then fine, that's okay, let us know. But you know, again, how we do, we just roll with the punches and we make it happen, we figure it out, and we keep our heads down and our mouths closed, and we get her done. You're getting 5.5 hours of sleep per night. Being this big communicator is not at the top of your list. He's in a state of shock. She's angry and embarrassed because she's working her fingers to the bone trying to make this work. And I am devastated. I'm telling you, my throat was dry. There was this big lump in it that ended up falling to the pit of my stomach. My dreams of going to Howard were gone to the same place as the money. Now, granted, we had no hotel reservations. We hadn't trip planned or anything. We were just sitting up looking at a Rand McNally. But still, I had that acceptance letter from Howard. I had something, but nothing else. No clue as to how I was going to pay for college once I got there. And so I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about all the possibilities and all the different careers that I could maybe engage in. And nothing was a winner. I didn't know what to do. Where was I to go? What was I to do? And you may be thinking the same thing right now. Where am I to go? What am I to do? Life has thrown you a curveball right now. You are in transition, but let me tell you something. You are not alone. You may feel like you're alone. You're not alone, and you will move into a new and better space. Check this out. In the last 2 years, 28% of Americans have been laid off. And 40% of Americans have been laid off at least once. This is according to the research firm, the Harris Poll. You are not alone. I am in that number of 40% of Americans who have been laid off. You see, when Jessica and I met back in 2016 at a conference in Phoenix, I saw her speak. She saw me speak, really excited, loved her message. She loved my message, but she didn't know at the time that just weeks before that presentation, I had been laid off. But I'm still standing there suited and booted. No one was the wiser, but my husband and I had always been a two-income household. But what was different in 2016 was we had a 2-year-old son. So it wasn't just us we had to take care of, but we had a little life that was reliant upon us. And so I'm standing here and she's all excited about the prospect of me coming to deliver a keynote engagement. And I'm sitting here thinking, you just don't know. You want me to come uplift, inspire, and motivate people in career transition. I'm in career transition, needing some motivating, inspiring, and uplifting. But I didn't let it on. I said, if that's what she wants, that's what she's going to get. I'm busted and disgusted, but I'm going to show up and show out. I told myself, girlfriend, you better be it till you see it. You see, let me tell you something. The most confident people know this. Even when you're in a transition, you still know your stuff. You can still take charge. You have no excuses. When you're in career transition, you still are able to get it done, to push through, to move barriers, and to get past the challenges. I promise you, you can. So I am sitting here thinking, what am I going to do? Howard University is what I have my sights set on. But the sights are looking foggy. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do at this point. I am completely devastated. And I don't know, I don't know what to do. And then my adoptive mother has this brilliant idea that we go see my high school counselor. Go see the high school counselor for what? It's July. I graduated 2 months ago. I left Livingston High School in my rearview mirror. Go up there for what? Looking crazy. She's not expecting to see me. She's getting ready for the fall semester in the new incoming class of freshmen. She don't have time for me. And then even if she does have time for me, what are we going to tell her? This is the dumbest idea I ever heard of in my life. Now, let me be very clear. I didn't say that. I did not vocalize that. I just thought it. And let's also get something else clear. What bright ideas did I have? I'm just sitting, moping, sulking. So, hey, off to Livingston High School we go. We arrived to Miss Willis's office, and she pulls up a chair, gets from around her desk, gets out pen and paper, leans in to see what it is that's going on. What has Bridgett McGowen in front of her with her parents right now? I felt so little, so ridiculous, so embarrassed in that moment. We told her enough, but not the whole story. And she offered up some suggestions like, maybe go to a community college, maybe wait until the spring semester and go somewhere, or maybe find an institution that's less expensive than Howard. I mean, realistically, those were options. She was giving me some ideas, but in my 18-year-old eyes at that point, those were not real options. And I'm annoyed because I'm thinking to myself, what are my parents thinking? What is she supposed to do? Wave some kind of a magic wand and pull a full scholarship out of her armpit? What are we doing here? This is ridiculous. And as I'm sitting there under the fluorescent lights, I just feel my skin melting. I am so embarrassed. Because you see, Miss Willis also had a son who was a senior along with me. He graduated and he was headed to Aggie Land. He was headed to Texas A&M University. I could not imagine what she was going to go home and tell Matt. Oh, how embarrassing. And then I'm also thinking about who our BFF is. Math teacher in the same discipline in 7th grade, not in the same district in 7th grade. She was my math teacher. They're BFFs. So what's that conversation going to look like? I mean, 2 employees working in the same district discussing a student who was enrolled in the district. There's no privacy concerns there. Girl, let me tell you who came in my office today. I just wanted to crawl under the biggest rock I could find. I wanted to dig myself into the deepest hole I could find and stay there for about 200 years because she wasn't telling me anything that I wanted to hear. And if I'm honest with myself, I probably wanted that magic wand too. I probably wanted her to wave it and magically transport me to Howard, where I was going to be a freshman. So we left her office in no better position than we were in when we arrived. I returned to my usual routine. We lived on 23 acres out in the country. There were 2 acres reserved for where our home, as well as my adoptive father's father home was next to us, and I would mow those 2 acres with a push mower. Yes, it took days. I would help take care of my grandfather and attend the church across the street. It was built when he was just a baby, the United Methodist Church, and I would help with all manner of chores around the house as I am sinking deeper and deeper into a depression. This is tough. I don't know what I'm going to do. And then all of a sudden, one day, it was a Wednesday, August 24th, my adoptive father has this bright idea, and he says, let's go to Prairie View. Huh? Let's drive over to Prairie View A&M University right here, right now. That was pretty much my response. What are we going over there for? What are we going to do? Neither one of us has ever been on that campus. We have a great uncle and a cousin who attended not years ago, but decades ago, like in the 70s or something. What are we going over here for? But hey, once again, what kind of plan B did I have? None. So what did we do? We busted out the Rand McNally, gassed up the Pontiac Grand Prix, and this is exactly what ours looked like with the exception of the sunroof. And we headed out on US Highway 59 South. I think it's now US Highway 69, Prairie View bound. It's about 2 hours away from Livingston. And I'm thinking to myself, we don't know what we're doing. We don't know where we're going. We don't know what building we're headed to. We don't know what questions to ask. We don't know who we need to see. But you know what? We ended up on the campus of Prairie View A&M University, the second oldest institution of higher education in the state of Texas, a historically Black university. I was feeling so scared. I mean, come on. This is a place filled with educated people, professional. We were going to get laughed right out of the county. But do you know, we were met by some of the kindest, gentlest, most generous people I had ever met in my life to date. No one rolled their eyes. No one gave any side glances. Nobody was snickering at us, looking, thinking, look at these country bumpkins in here, just days before school starts, asking for a bed and a book. None of that. Here I was on a Wednesday, and school started Monday. And I am filling out an application for admission just days before school starts, and everybody is acting like it is the most normal thing in the world. They saw a problem. They saw a student and a parent who was looking for an answer, and by golly, they were going to provide a solution. I fill out my application. I submit it. We pay the application fee, and they tell us, thank you. We'll give you a call. And it wasn't that we'll give you a call feel where you know deep down inside, ain't nobody called, don't sit by the phone toots because it's not ringing. It didn't feel like that. And for the first time in a long time, I finally felt a ray of sunshine. I finally felt some hope and saw a light at the end of the tunnel. So we get back on the road and head home. Now we get home probably about, 3:30 or so. 4 o'clock, and I'm thinking there's still time in the workday. They don't close until 5. And I don't know what all is involved with admitting someone to a university. I don't know. So I'm thinking maybe I'll get the call today. They've still got, another hour, hour and a half in the workday. Maybe I'll get the call. So I go sit by the phone. I sit by the avocado green push button phone and don't play. Y'all had one of these too, along with the shaggy green carpet to match. I sit by the phone. Wednesday evening comes and it goes. The phone does not ring. Thursday morning comes and it goes. The phone does not ring. Thursday afternoon comes and goes. The phone does not ring. School starts Monday. Friday morning comes and it goes. And the phone does not ring. Friday afternoon comes and the phone rings. It's about 2 p.m. And it's Aunt Shirley wanting to know what my adoptive mother's making for dinner. No, I'm playing. They say, hello, may we speak to Bridgett McGowen, please? Yes. This is she. This is the admissions office at Prairie View A&M University. Yes, I've been waiting for your call. Yes. Thank you for submitting your application for admission. We'd like to welcome you to Pantherland. You have been accepted. Welcome to the Hill. That phone call changed my life. I was going somewhere. I was going to become somebody. I was a student matriculating at Prairie View A&M University. And if it had not been for Prairie View A&M, I would not be half the person that I am now. If it had not been for the faith my adoptive father had to say, we're getting up, we're going. I don't know where we're going. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what questions to ask. I don't know who to see, but we're going to do this. I haven't a clue, but we're going to make this happen. And let me tell you something, even when it feels completely impossible, still push forward. Even when it feels like it cannot happen, still push forward. Even when it feels impossible, ridiculous, even in a place of complete uncertainty, you've still got to push forward. You've still got to be it until you see it, because you see, you don't shy away from a tough situation. Instead, you bear down. You don't find a way to get comfortable. You dig deep. You don't get lazy. You work hard. You don't dim your light to let other people feel comfortable. You shine your light. You show up. You show out. You make a way out of no way. You see, I did not see those kinds of people and professionals when I was growing up. You've got to rephrase your narrative. I did not see people who were teaching at a community college, but I became one who did. I did not see faculty members at universities when I was growing up, but I became one. I did not see anybody who was an educator for an online university, but I became one. When I was growing up, I did not see Black business owners, but I became one. When I was growing up, I did not see award-winning authors, but I became one. When I was growing up, I did not see award-winning publishers, but I became one. When I was growing up, I did not see award-winning international professional speakers, but I became one. You rephrase your narrative. That is what you do. You change it up. You see, let me tell you something. You did not get let go. You got leverage to go forward. You did not get a pink slip. You got to flip the script. You did not lose a job. You gained a lesson. You did not become unemployed. You became fully empowered. You did not get laid off. You got a lane of opportunities. You didn't fall down. You still stand tall. You are not going to fake it till you make it. You're going to be it till you see it. You got this.
Bridgett, you're awesome. Oh my goodness. Who is ready to be it till you see it? Who is ready? I love not a pink slip. You flip the script. I love don't fake it till you make it, be it till you see it. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. We so appreciate you. This is what we needed to do to get 2024 off to the right direction and a right start. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Bridgett will be available in the breakout session for a few minutes at the beginning of the breakout session. So if you have any questions about how to reframe your mind as you're going into your career this year, she is the one you want to talk to. Thank you, my friend. We're so grateful. All right. Now we are ready to hear from Justin. And you guys, it's just going to keep going. Justin Jones likes nothing more than hearing his clients say, I got the job. Affectionately known as Job Coach Justin, he is naturally skilled at helping people recognize and communicate their inherent value. In the past 20 years, he has literally coached thousands of individuals and shares insights about interviewing and finding meaningful work. Justin is a dynamic career coach, public speaker, and facilitator. He currently directs a team of career mentors at Brigham Young University's Career Studio. Justin has been a keynote speaker on our stage for more than 10 years. We're so grateful for him. So please help me welcome Justin Jones. Yay. Justin, if you're talking, we can't hear you yet.
I was just saying, where is my unmute button? Oh my goodness. Wow. And thank you, Jessica. And thank you, Bridgett. Like on fire, feeling the faith, feeling the power, like, woo, take it. We are not slowing down by any means, folks. If you saw that red igloo cooler, I am here to take you for at least $6,000 worth of content that is going to be worth so much more to you than anything that was in that cooler. So here we go. We're going to talk about AI, what and why, work smarter, not harder. And for a lot of you, do you realize that Google is 25 years old? What? 25 years ago, that little search bar came onto your computer screen and most everyone was saying, what is this? And now it's a word, it's a phrase. Go ahead, Google it. This is what we're talking about when it comes to artificial intelligence. So many of you have heard of this. If you have heard of artificial intelligence, such as ChatGPT, Bard, Bing, any of those things, I just want you to put a thumbs up or a yes in the chat. If you're using it, I want you to. Also, so think about this. What is it really? AI, it's basically human simulation. For those of you who are my age, you might think back to the technology of the Jetsons, where you just push a button or you have a robotic maid that does things for you. But this is going to change everything, similar to the way Google changed everything 25 years ago. And what's really interesting is this just launched about a year ago. And so for the masses, AI has been around and happening a lot longer than that for all you IS and technical people. I get it. But for the masses, where you can access it, for free, this is what we're talking about. So tasks that generally take, human intelligence, we're going to streamline that for you a little bit and make your lives and your job search easier. So I mentioned three of them: ChatGPT, Bing and Bard. Bard is through Google, and so you can access it on their website. Bing is through Microsoft. You can access it through their website. ChatGPT is its own. It's by a company called OpenAI. You might have heard of one of its founding members. His name is Elon Musk. But here's the thing. As we look at this, I just want you to see what these look like. You're going to get mine is on dark screen. Yours might be white. It's fine. But this is what it looks like on ChatGPT. And you'll notice at the very bottom, there is just a search bar. This becomes your genie. All you have to do is type into that little magic lamp search bar right there, whatever it is you desire. Now, there are some caveats that you need to be aware of, and every single one of these has a little phrase on it that says, please check all answers with professionals, or this information might be erroneous. For the time being, I want you to take that as a sign to still use the tool, but always fact check. And that is not a hard thing to do. All you need to do is be able to get some ideas generated or started. So this is what ChatGPT looks like. The next one is what Microsoft Bing looks like. Notice it's saying ask complex questions, get better answers, get creative inspiration. That's what we're really going for here, is for you to be able to get the juices flowing when you are stuck against a wall or you're having trouble coming up with something. A lot of my international students love to use this to generate bullet statements for their resumes because they're having a real hard time coming up or formulating that in correct grammar for English. And so they love it for that purpose. So that's Bing. And then here's Bard. And each of these act very similarly. They all have the search. You can do creative things. In fact, you can make images. But what I want to focus on today is what's really going to be helping you in your job search. So as we think about this, for those of you who have used artificial intelligence or AI, I want you to put into the chat what you think some of the strengths and limitations are. I will go ahead and visit just a few of them that I've run up against. First of all, one of the strengths, great for idea generation. Also really good with large volumes of text. You can take an entire job description and throw it into the generative AI and ask it questions or have it tailor bullet statements, whatever you want. So it's really good at information summary. Drafting and writing, if you're looking for a draft of a resume, a draft of a cover letter, a draft of how do I invite somebody for a coffee chat, for an informational interview, all of these things. So Monica, thank you. Same kind of thing, drafting things on a page. Automation of repetitive tasks. So if you don't want to cut and paste over and over and over again, you can use iterative scripting within these tools to refine and hone so that you're only cutting and pasting maybe once, maybe twice. It's also great for tutorials or learning. I saw somebody on here was from Atlanta. Hey, Atlanta, just visited for the first time in September. I used these tools to plan my entire trip. All I did was, if I've got 5 days in Atlanta, what are the must-see things I should do? And I put it into the search bar and it came out with an entire itinerary for me. So living it up in Atlanta, I certainly did using AI. Now, what are some of the limitations? So Jessica's saying, I love how easy it is. You literally can't mess up, and just try it out. I love this piece because you're just saying, let's play with it. Let's play with the technology. But there are some things that you're going to run across that I already told you one of them. You need to cross-reference your information that you're receiving with trusted resources. Also, it's so much better if you can limit your scope. So when you are generating prompts, this is where it becomes magical to you. And don't worry, I'm going to give you, like I said, an igloo chest full of suggestions that are going to make all of your dreams come true. So don't worry about that. We'll get to that later. understand the limitations. So you want to familiarize yourself with some of the potential pitfalls, like false information. There was actually a court case in New York where they utilized generative AI to make their arguments, and some of them were based on false facts, which was not a great thing for that court case. Certainly would not want to be that attorney caught in that kind of litigation process. However, if you familiarize yourself, you can cross-reference that utilizing Google searches, utilizing experts in the field, things like that that are going to be helpful to you. You'll want to clarify your inputs, and that's where prompt engineering becomes so important, and I will help you with that. But if you're too ambiguous or if you're too vague, you're going to get equally vague or ambiguous responses. The thing that you might need to do that some people find a hassle, but I actually find it interesting, is iterations or reframing the way that you say something so that you can get to what you want. And I do have some help for you there as well. AI models are constantly updating. So it's amazing to me what's happened in just this year, the growth, because they are taking all of the data that you put in and they are learning continually. They're like the smartest babies ever. So the feedback that you get, professional oversight, you may want to speak to a professional after you've asked some of the questions, but honestly, you're going to love the things that you see. So with this, let me go back one. These are some of the things that I want you to think about when you're creating your prompts. One, it can help you in crafting resumes, cover letters, personal statements, emails, anything that you are utilizing to reach out to people. You may want to just try a draft in one of these AI tools and see what it comes back with, and then you can edit. Editing is so simple. All you have to do, it's like, again, a genie in a lamp. All you have to do is say, no, I didn't like it that way. Do it this way instead. Did you know that you can type in, have a resume created all in the voice of Michael Scott from The Office? Or Chuck Norris? You can, so AI will go out and try and tailor it to whatever it is that you are asking for. So just for some fun, go ahead and play with that. Pick your favorite character, somebody who's pretty prolific, and have AI generate something in their voice. I think you will be both astonished and surprised. Great for ideas. And then tips. If you take a look at LinkedIn, if you take a look at even Google and just Google, give me some generative AI prompts or tips for prompts, you are going to get loads and loads and loads from those people who have been using it over this past year and really perfecting their searches. With that, here's some things that I want you to be aware of. That one, the quality of the prompt, and I'm going to give you some real quality prompts today. Also, what information you provide. So some of these only have information for certain years or up to a certain amount of time. Go ahead and play with that. Use it for what you can, and the rest of it just goes back to you, the human, to figure out. But personalization. If you are somebody who writes a lot and you have produced things that are out on the internet that are publicly accessible, AI can actually start to get your voice as well. And the more you share your content with generative AI, the better it gets at creating things in your voice. I know, creepy, scary, and amazing. But again, if you have issues with technology, that's something I'm not going to fix on this call. I just want you to know that these are available. So yes, 3.5 only goes to 2021. If you're looking for things, just be aware of that. Now, interaction with AI, I want you to treat it as if you are having a conversation with a person, as if you were asking me, or if you were asking Bridget, or if you were asking Jessica. That's where I want you to start playing around. Ask it a question as if you are talking to another human being. That's where the power comes, because it starts to recognize and go and search those types of questions. I just find it so interesting how many times someone will ask me a question and I will use generative AI to go and find an appropriate response, and then I'll craft it to something that works for both myself and that person. So what does that look like? Here are some starts. All of you are in the job hunt right now or know somebody who is. So when you're looking at generative AI, here's some questions that you might ask. What do I start with? Well, what are the current jobs in the market for a marketing representative or in healthcare or for computer science or IS, any of those things? You name the industry and just ask it that question. You will be so surprised. Now, you can tailor it as well. So if you're seeking guidance, you might actually look for something a little bit closer to home. So you might want to mention what your degree is and what the industry is that you're going for, and just see what it brings up. If you're wanting for more specific information, what can somebody with an IS degree do in healthcare? And if you want to start narrowing, you can say in the New York City area, in Atlanta, Georgia, in the Pacific Northwest. You can get that specific. And it will start bringing up companies. It'll start bringing up organizations that are in your location that then jumpstarts your ability to start doing your own research. Next. Oh, and I'm running out of time. What are the most sought after programming languages for data science roles in the healthcare industry? Can you provide me examples of companies in New York City in marketing? Or you can refine that and say, I want a list of the top 10 marketing companies in New York City by company size from 1 to 500 employees. You can get that specific. You can even ask for addresses and contact information, and then go check that using Google or your professionals to make sure that it's accurate. But do you love these questions? Do you love how simple it is to ask these? Here's the last one. Can you provide me a well-written? So specify what industry, specify what role, and see what generative AI can come up with. Now, as I told you, I don't have a lot of time today, but we have spent a lot of time researching and creating this guide for you. This is your money in the igloo bucket today. So as a parting gift for every single one of you, you will have access to this PDF. It's 28 pages of pure gold. How do I get a coffee chat with somebody to talk about my industry? How do I write a cover letter? What are ways that I can generate bullet statements for my resume? How do I tailor a resume from a job description to my industry? Every single one of those questions are going to be answered in this 28-page gold mine. And with that, each one of those is going to include prompts that you can use to get you started. So it is a new year. You have a new focus today. You are on fire. We are on fire, and we want this to be your best year ever. So take a look at this summary of what we've talked about. Enhanced efficiency, personalized matchmaking for your job and that job description, skill enhancement, and guess what? Guess who wrote this summary? You guessed it, generative AI. Thank you so much. I love being with you. I am so excited for you this year because every single one of you is pumped and excited, and I'm excited for your future success. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Justin. How about a virtual round of applause or a clap in the chat? Thank you, thank you, thank you. So this is why we chose Justin and Bridgett to kick off our year. They're just the best of the best. So thank you so much. We will be emailing every one of you after the event today. And in that email, we'll include that AI tool. And it sounds like you guys have even made some updates to it since the last time we utilized it. You guys, it is a phenomenal tool. And I encourage you to really open that email, open that PDF, and take a look and start playing with AI. It is super helpful in helping you think about things that you probably hadn't considered before. It helps the creative juices get going. And of course, there are positives and things that could be better with this tool, but play with it a little bit. and I've said this publicly multiple times, but there's been some things in our world that have significantly shaken up the way we work. Years and years ago, the internet, Justin talked about Google. Then we also had the rise of social media. My personal belief is this is that big now. And so it's not something, I don't think it's something you can ignore and it'll go away. It's here to stay. And the more that you get used to using something like this, the better you'll be in the future. So again, thank you guys so much. I want to jump into some closing activities, and then we're going to get into our breakout sessions. All right, if you have any feedback for us today, please feel free to email us at contact@careerconnectors.org. We're always open to feedback, to topics. I think it was somebody requesting information on AI that got us into really looking into it to see if it was a valuable tool for job search. And so any kind of feedback you have for us, we would love to hear. All right, so in the email that you're going to get, there's going to be multiple links. One of the links is the DISC assessment. We give this out for free through a partnership that we have with Top Talent Consulting. And what you're going to do is click on the link, and it will take about 10 minutes to answer an assessment. And it will send you back an email with an attachment of about 24 pages of information about you, your ideal work environment, your communication style, those type of things. And so that's at no cost. This recording is also going to be on our website. It usually takes about 12 hours or so for us to get it uploaded. But that will be available and it will be included in the link that you get in your email today. And then also we're all over social media, so we would love to connect with you there. Thank you so much to our corporate partners. We're grateful for you guys and for being here and being part of what we do. One of the partners is Best Companies AZ. And so Jenna, I know, is on the line. Denise may be here as well. But Best Companies AZ, they help award-winning companies to not only find talent, but really market their what their offerings and how, and it's also you can see all the awards that companies that they work with. So Denise is the CEO of Best Companies. Denise actually originally helped found Career Connectors and get us going off the ground by bringing in these award-winning companies. And so Jenna will be in the breakout session. Many of these companies have open jobs, both in person and remote and hybrid roles. So if you are sitting in Jersey or Minnesota or somewhere else now, but you're interested in a remote position, Jenna would be a great person to talk to. We also have this awesome partnership with LearnKey, and LearnKey is an online learning platform, and they have they're offering different trainings at a very reduced cost. In fact, 2 of their courses are free to anyone who goes through Career Connectors. And so you will be able to you'll see that link as well in your email. But if you're interested in going through some upskilling or getting certified in a different area, or maybe it's something you've done for a long time and you just need to get the certification, now would be the time as you're going through career transition. So all of you have access to cybersecurity and then also a soft skills course of building trust and credibility. I recently gave a keynote talk to about 400 workforce professionals. And one of the workforce trends for 2024 is around soft skills. Companies are really interested in people that have strong soft skills. So building that trust and credibility is one of those. And so I'd encourage you to take a look at LearnKey and be able to, oh good, Kathleen dropped the link right into the chat if you're interested in looking at that right now. It will also be included in your email. And then Jeff, the CEO and founder of LearnKey, will also be in one of our breakout sessions today. So you can talk directly to him about what's available and if you would be a good candidate to take one of those courses. All right, so upcoming events, we do these coaching events every month, and then we also have hiring events sprinkled in there. So the next career content and coaching event is Thursday, February 8th. And we are so excited to have Pat Roboletti. I think I'm saying her name right. She is an expert in this, the networking world and the job world. So if you get online and search her, it'll be the first time we ever have her out. And so we're super excited about that. And then we will, that's February 8th, and that's a virtual event. And then on February 22nd, if you're in the Phoenix area, we will have a career expo in Avondale. So over 20 companies hiring there. And then March 7th, we do one of our most in-demand events, Red Hot Resumes. It's a panel with some amazing professional resume writers. And so some of them are on the call today to do coaching as well. All right, so thank you to all of our volunteers and our team and our staff that makes this happen. We are so grateful for you. So all of the volunteers that are coaching today, they're going to each be in a breakout room and you can meet directly with them. They are volunteering their time today to help you. These are professional, certified, expert coaches, resume writers, LinkedIn coaches. So if they're here, we've asked them to be here if they would volunteer their time and they know what they're talking about. So we're super grateful for them. If you would like to volunteer for maybe administrative support, Zoom support, or maybe you are a certified career coach, get onto our site,
Where was the job located? It's in Irvine, right?
careerconnectors.org, and we will /volunteer, and we will go ahead and look at you, see if you're interested in volunteering and how we can get you plugged in. Also, we are a 501c3 nonprofit. So as you go through your next career and you land, of course, we would love for you to give a donation to support the next person that's behind you. And so you'll see occasionally throughout the year, we have a couple campaigns that go out for donations. So thanks for all of you. So many of you gave last year. Thank you for that. We are so grateful and appreciate anyone in the future. All right, you guys, I'm going to move into the breakout sessions now. I'm going to give it over to Bree Martinez, and she's going to walk you through how to jump into the breakout sessions. And just know that me and my team, we are praying for all of you to land into the career of your dreams. And we're so grateful you're here today. Thank you.
All right, so I'm just going to quickly go over how to jump into a breakout room. In just a minute here, I'm going to open all of the breakout rooms. So you'll toggle over to your toolbar, click on breakout rooms, and you'll be able to see a list of everything that's available. Once you find your breakout room you want to join, just hover over to the right and click join, and it'll take you in there. And then if you ever want to jump into another breakout room, you're going to join it the same way that you did the other one. So I'm opening up all the rooms. So you should be able to see them now. If anyone needs any help getting into a breakout room, just let us know in the chat and we can manually move you in there. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Bree. Bree runs all of our events. So appreciate you, Bree. So your breakout rooms are now open. Icon on the bottom of your screen, if you're on your laptop, click breakout rooms. If you're on your phone, sometimes there's 3 buttons and a drop down, and then you can click into the room you want to go into. And so you'll see, oh, great, people are joining. Let's see. And I know Bridget is going into her room. She's only going to be there for a little bit. So if you want to talk to Bridget, jump into her room first. Bridget, are you good? Do you see your room? Okay, great. Go ahead and join in there. All right.